Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Anime Villainous how-to video. I'm Chaos in the Sky, and today I'll be showing you how to play as Crocodile from One Piece in Anime Villainous. Crocodile is one of the 7 warlords of the sea, a group of deadly pirates that make up 1/3 of the 3 great powers. He's also known by the alias Mr. Zero, the president of the criminal syndicate Baroque Works. Having consumed the Suna Suna no Mi devil fruit, Crocodile has the ability to both manipulate sand, as well as turn his body itself into sand, making him seem practically invincible. Keeping his identity hidden while running Baroque Works from the shadows, Crocodile aims to usurp the throne of Alabasta. In doing so, he'll gain access to the poneglyph hidden away in Alabasta's catacombs. Once there, Crocodile can have Miss All Sunday read its ancient text so that he can locate the superweapon Pluton and increase his power tenfold. For Crocodile to achieve his ambition, he must get Miss All Sunday to read the poneglyph for him. Because of that, his objective in Anime Villainous is to have both the poneglyph and Miss All Sunday at the catacombs, the rightmost location in his territory. It sounds like a rather simple objective, but Crocodile will have plenty of hoops to jump through for it. There are a few unique things about Crocodile we have to cover before we get into achieving his objective. First, let's look at his villain ability, which is that whenever Crocodile moves to a location that has more allies than heroes, you may draw a card from your villain deck. Crocodile can have a rough time discarding given the layout of his territory, so this ability will be vital for getting through Crocodile's deck. The reason Crocodile can run into trouble with discarding, you may ask, is because he is the only villain in the Battle Begins box that uses the lock token. The lock token is a unique mechanic that has Crocodile's rightmost location, the catacombs, blocked off at the start of the game. You cannot move your villain's mover to a location with a lock token, and you cannot play or move cards to a location with a lock token unless the card specifies otherwise. Of course, a locked location inherently means there's a way to unlock it, which is something Crocodile will have to do since his objective requires having Miss All Sunday and the poneglyph both at the catacombs. So not only will Crocodile have to find both Miss All Sunday and the poneglyph in his deck and get them to the catacombs, he'll also have to unlock the location. With Crocodile's ability and unique setup covered, let's get into actually achieving his objective. There are 3 cards Crocodile will have to use to achieve his objective, 2 of which we've already mentioned. Those 3 cards are Miss All Sunday, the poneglyph, and Operation Utopia. Miss All Sunday is Crocodile's most powerful ally. Unfortunately for him, she doesn't often do exactly what he wants. Crocodile must play Miss All Sunday to the Rain Base, his leftmost location, for an expensive 4 power. This means to have her at the catacombs, he'll need to use the move item or ally action to have her trek all the way over to the right side of his territory. It also means that despite her impressive 5 strength, you won't want to be using her for a vanquish action, as having to get her back in play will be way too much of a hassle. On top of all this, once Crocodile completes his objective and enters Showdown, Miss All Sunday then becomes a hero at the top of Crocodile's territory. Keep in mind that Miss All Sunday becoming a hero does not have her move or get played, so it won't trigger any abilities that involve heroes being played or moving. Because of Miss All Sunday becoming a hero once Crocodile reaches Showdown, Crocodile is one of the only characters in the Battle Begins who is guaranteed to have a Showdown phase. There's no possible way for Crocodile to both enter Showdown and defeat Miss All Sunday in the same turn, since his objective is only completed upon ending his turn. Following Miss All Sunday, we have the poneglyph. It's only a smidge cheaper than Miss All Sunday, costing Crocodile 3 power, but thankfully it's easier to work with. When played, you must attach the poneglyph to the catacombs, meaning it can never move from that location. You can attach it there even if the catacombs are still locked, so you don't have to hold on to the card until unlocking it. Just play it whenever you have a moment and the power to do so. The poneglyph does nothing for Crocodile other than complete 1/2 of his objective until he reaches Showdown. Once Crocodile is in Showdown, before he moves at the start of his turn, the poneglyph gives him 1 power. This makes it much easier for Crocodile to close out his game, as he can use his more expensive cards more easily. But until Croc's Showdown phase begins, it's pretty much just a big fancy rock. The final card that Crocodile needs to win the game is Operation Utopia, of which there are 3 copies in his deck. While the poneglyph can be played to the catacombs even if it's locked, you cannot move Miss All Sunday to the catacombs until the lock token is gone. Of course, this means your objective cannot be completed with the catacombs locked, and you cannot win the game. Operation Utopia is a 0-cost effect that is the only way to unlock the catacombs. Whenever played, Crocodile gains 1 power for each location in his territory that has more allies than it does heroes. Pay attention to how it says more allies, meaning there has to be at least 1 ally at that location. A location with no allies will not count for Operation Utopia. If you use Operation Utopia and gain 3 power as a result, meaning you have more allies than heroes at your 3 currently unlocked locations, you then get to unlock the Catacombs. Once the Catacombs are unlocked, it's impossible for the lock token to return. You're free to use that location for the rest of the game. While you do need Operation Utopia to unlock the Catacombs, keep in mind that your deck has 3 copies of the card. It isn't a bad idea to use Operation Utopia early in the game to gain some extra power, even if it doesn't unlock the Catacombs at first. It could be the difference maker in getting enough power to play the allies you need for the next Operation Utopia. To have Operation Utopia unlock the Catacombs, Crocodile needs a lot of allies in play. We've already seen Miss All Sunday, who does count to that requirement as she is an ally until Crocodile reaches his showdown phase. But you'll need at least 3 allies in play to unlock the Catacombs, and even more allies than that if some troublesome heroes get in your way. Because of that, Crocodile has a total of 10 allies in his deck counting Miss All Sunday, so let's look at the other 9 allies and what they can do. First up, we have Mr. 1, Mr. 2, and Mr. 3. As you can tell, Crocodile's naming conventions are simple and straightforward. Mr. 1 is Crocodile's strongest, non-treacherous ally, having 4 strength for an expensive 3 power. His ability is that his location gains a Vanquish action, giving Crocodile more versatility to vanquish with other allies, or even use Mr. 1 himself to vanquish. Following him, we of course have Mr. 2, whose ability allows him to gain a large amount of strength. For each hero in Crocodile's territory, Mr. 2 gains 1 strength, up to a total of +3. This means he can go from 1 strength all the way up to 4, making him incredibly useful when your territory is full of heroes. Next is Mr. 3. When Mr. 3 is played, all heroes at Mr. 3's location lose 1 strength. Very useful when you have an area that's stacked with heroes, or you just need a hero to be a tiny bit weaker for a vanquish or clash. It turns out Crocodile can only count to 5, as we have 2 more Mr. allies to cover. Mr. 4 is a stronger ally with 3 strength, with an ability meant for defense. Whenever a hero is played or moved to Mr. 4's location, you could choose to perform a vanquish action right then, so long as you use Mr. 4. This means you can use Mr. 4 to perform a vanquish action on your opponent's turn, provided they play the hero to Mr. 4's location. You can use other allies in the vanquish as well if Mr. 4 isn't strong enough on his own. Just remember that you have to include Mr. 4 in the vanquish with any other allies. Thanks to this, Mr. 4 is a great option to defend whatever location you find the most valuable. Our last number is Mr. 5, a cheaper ally with a cost of 1 and 2 strength. His ability is straightforward. When performing a vanquish action, you can use Mr. 5 to defeat a hero at his location, or an adjacent one. This works out really well in Crocodile's early game, where he only has 3 locations to begin with. You can put Mr. 5 down at Yuba, and until the Catacombs unlock, he can be used in a vanquish action against any hero. While Crocodile may have run out of numbers, he still has more holidays at his disposal. First up are Miss Doublefinger and Miss Golden Week. Miss Doublefinger is straightforward. When you play Miss Doublefinger, you can then perform a vanquish using her. A great way to quickly dispose of heroes without the need for an actual vanquish action. Miss Golden Week also has an on-play ability. When played, you may move a hero at Miss Golden Week's location to any unlocked location. Great utility for Operation Utopia, as well as potentially activating Mr. 4's own ability. Our last 2 allies are Miss Merry Christmas and Miss Valentine. Miss Merry Christmas is similar to Miss Golden Week, as when she's played you get to move a hero at her location to an adjacent location, along with Miss Merry Christmas. A bit different from Miss Golden Week, who just allows you to move a hero anywhere, but Miss Merry Christmas has a little extra strength to go with her ability. Lastly is Miss Valentine, whose ability is based on movement rather than on being played. When Miss Valentine is moved by Crocodile, you may perform a vanquish action at Miss Valentine's new location, so long as you use her in the vanquish. Keep in mind that Crocodile has to be the one moving Miss Valentine. Her ability cannot be used if an opponent moves her with a fake card. Now that we've managed to cover all 10 of Crocodile's allies, let's get into the rest of his villain deck. As we know, Crocodile wants to keep his allies in play for the purpose of Operation Utopia. Because of this, it's important to both weaken heroes so you can use less allies to defeat them, and also to have Crocodile clash with heroes as much as possible, rather than have to discard allies to perform vanquishes. You can accomplish both of these strategies using Crocodile's 3 attachable items: Golden Hook, Hidden Blade, and Scorpion Venom. All 3 of these items attach to Crocodile himself and give him major buffs that will make dealing with a hero-covered territory that much easier. Hidden Blade is one of Crocodile's most useful clashing options, as it gives Crocodile +1 strength. It does have a catch, however. After you perform a clash, you must either pay 1 power or put Hidden Blade back into your hand. This means it'll be costly to keep Hidden Blade in play, or you'll have to pay to play it again later. Following Hidden Blade, we have Scorpion Venom, an item that takes a more subversive approach to dealing with heroes. Rather than making Crocodile stronger like Hidden Blade does, Scorpion Venom weakens heroes instead. At the start of your turn, before Crocodile moves to a new location, all heroes at Crocodile's current location lose 1 strength. This is a great way to get heroes weak enough for Crocodile to clash with them, or to make the difference in only needing 1 ally for a vanquish instead of 2. Crocodile's third attachable item is Golden Hook. Unlike the other 2, Golden Hook doesn't have an ability that buffs Crocodile itself. Instead, you can discard Golden Hook from your territory at any time to find either Hidden Blade or Scorpion Venom, pay its cost, and then play it. This is an excellent way to get either of the 2 items if they end up buried deep in your deck, or get them back from the discard pile if they end up discarded by a Fate action. While we're on the subject of things that buff Crocodile, let's move on to talking about Crocodile's 2 form cards, Enraged and Sandbody. Enraged is another of Crocodile's strongest clashing tools. When enraged, Crocodile's base strength becomes 3 instead of 2, which also means if you have Hidden Blade, Croc will have a strength of 4. At the end of Crocodile's turn, if you've clashed while enraged, you gain 1 power. However, if you end your turn without clashing, you then discard Enraged. This is one of Crocodile's best tools for getting out of being buried in heroes. It also pays you back for the cost of using Hidden Blade, making the cards a good combo. After Enraged, we have Crocodile's second form, Sandbody. While Enraged acts as Crocodile's offensive form, Sandbody is Crocodile's defensive form. With Sandbody in play, whenever a Fate card would be revealed from Crocodile's deck, 1 less card is revealed. After that ability takes place, Sandbody is then discarded. This works for normal Fate actions and for multi-Fate actions. If your opponent targets you with a Fate, then Sandbody means they reveal just 1 card rather than 2. This gives your opponent less options, and may even cause their Fate to whiff entirely. If your opponent chooses to multi-Fate, whether in multiplayer or single player, you discard Sandbody as usual, but your opponent does not reveal any cards from Crocodile's Fate deck. While Sandbody is one of Crocodile's best defensive cards, it isn't his only one. Crocodile has 1 more item in his villain deck, that item being Contingency Plan. If Crocodile finds himself flooded with heroes and he hasn't yet gotten the cards he needs to start clearing them out, Contingency Plan is his answer. When in play, Contingency Plan makes it where heroes do not cover actions. This means all of Crocodile's action economy is freed up, and he can, for the most part, just ignore the heroes in his way. The catch to Contingency Plan is that when a hero is played to its location, you have to discard Contingency Plan. This means any hero being played can stop it. However, you can also use even this to your advantage. Since the hero must be played where Contingency Plan is at, you can sort of force your opponent to play the next hero to a location that you want. This can also pair very well with Mr. 4, who can be used to defend the Contingency Plan. We're now down to the last 4 cards in Crocodile's deck, his 2 schemes followed by his last 2 effect cards. We'll look at the schemes first, Sable and Desert Girasole. Sable is triggered whenever the targeted player gains 3 or more power. Once triggered, you may choose a location in Crocodile's territory. Each hero that is at that location then loses 1 strength, just like Scorpion Venom's ability. Crocodile's other scheme, Desert Girasole, is triggered whenever the targeted player moves an ally or a hero. This allows Crocodile to move a hero in his territory to any unlocked location. A great bit of utility to line up a hero for a vanquish, move them to a better spot for Operation Utopia, or even put them where Crocodile is at to have Scorpion Venom affect them. At long last, we have Crocodile's only effect cards aside from Operation Utopia, Desert Spada and Baroque Works. Desert Spada is an effect that allows Crocodile to clash with a hero at any location, making it very powerful. However, there is of course a catch. For every location away from the hero Crocodile is, you must pay 1 extra power. This means if the hero is at Crocodile's location, Desert Spada costs just 1, but if the hero is at, say, Rain Base, while Crocodile is at Catacombs, the cost can skyrocket to 4 power. Baroque Works is the last card of Crocodile's villain deck, and another tool to help him get through his deck faster. When played, Baroque Works has you reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Any allies or items revealed by this must be put into your hand, while any remaining cards you can choose to either discard or shuffle back into your deck. A good way for Crocodile to thin his deck and get his valuable items and allies in his hand faster. With that, we've covered all of Crocodile's villain deck, which of course means we're now going to look at what difficulties you'll be facing from Crocodile's Fate deck. First up, we have the 3 strongest pirates of the Straw Hat crew, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. We'll look at the rubber man himself first, Monkey D. Luffy. He's the strongest hero in the Fate deck with 5 strength, meaning Crocodile can't clash with him even when enraged and with a Hidden Blade, unless he's had his strength lowered a bit. But the most annoying thing about Luffy is his ability. Whenever Luffy would be discarded, he is instead shuffled into Crocodile's Fate deck. This means if Luffy is revealed during a Fate action but not played, he goes back into the Fate deck. It also means whenever Crocodile defeats Luffy, you guessed it, he goes right back into the Fate deck. It is impossible for Luffy to ever be in the discard pile. He will always either be annoying Crocodile by being in his territory, or soon making a comeback by waiting in the Fate deck. After Luffy, we have Zoro, a 4-strength hero who discards an ally with a strength of 3 or less from his location when played. This means Zoro can discard any ally at Crocodile's disposal, except for Miss All Sunday and Mr. 1. Keep in mind that Zoro's ability procs before Mr. 4's ability, so Zoro will discard him before you can have Mr. 4 trigger a Vanquish against him on being played. Following Zoro is Sanji, another 4-strength hero with a very similar ability. When Sanji is played, the one playing him can move an ally with a strength of 3 or less from his location to an adjacent one. Not as painful as Zoro's ability, but it can still really mess with Crocodile's Operation Utopia and any upcoming vanquishes. Our next 3 Straw Hats are Usopp, Chopper, and Nami. Usopp is a more defensive hero, as whenever a hero at his location would lose strength, Usopp loses that strength instead. This protects any other heroes with Usopp from Crocodile's many strength-reducing cards. Speaking of being protected from strength reduction, Chopper's ability is that when he's played, all -1 strength tokens on heroes in Crocodile's territory get removed. Because of this, Crocodile has to be careful about leaving around heroes that have had their strength reduced. If he doesn't get to defeating them quickly, Chopper may arrive and put them all back up to maximum strength. Now we have Nami, whose ability also deals with heroes. When Nami is played, the one playing her can then move a hero in Crocodile's territory to any unlocked location. This, of course, can be a major pain for Crocodile's Operation Utopia, as well as just moving heroes to more annoying locations in general. The last 2 heroes in Crocodile's Fate deck are Princess Vivi and her faithful steed Karu. Princess Vivi is a hero of just 2 strength, but her ability is a dangerous one. When she's in play, the amount of power that Crocodile gains from each card is reduced by 1. This, of course, negates the power-gaining benefit of the Poneglyph and Enraged, but more importantly, it means that Operation Utopia gives Crocodile 1 less power when used. To unlock the Catacombs, Operation Utopia must give Crocodile a total of 3 power. This means that if Princess Vivi is in play, it is impossible for Crocodile to gain the 3 power needed, and thus he cannot open the Catacombs. Princess Vivi will have to be dealt with for Crocodile to ever be able to achieve his objective, if the Catacombs haven't already been unlocked. Karu is the weakest hero in Crocodile's Fate deck, but whenever he's played, the one playing him has the option to find and play Vivi to Karu's location. This can bring Vivi back from the discard pile, get her out of the Fate deck if she still hasn't been seen yet, and even just move Vivi away from a dangerous position if she's already in Crocodile's territory. Also keep in mind that if Karu is played and then replays Vivi when she's already in play, it will remove any -1 tokens that are on Vivi. That's all of the heroes that Crocodile will be facing, so now let's look at the 2 Fate effects and the 1 Fate item in Crocodile's Fate deck. The 2 effects are Disarmed and Duplicitous Woman, while the item is Water Weakness. Disarmed is straightforward. It allows the one playing it to discard either Crocodile's form or an item that is attached to him. Pay attention to how it says an item attached to Crocodile, which means it cannot discard the Poneglyph or Contingency Plan, as those items are not attached to Crocodile. Duplicitous Woman moves either an ally or hero to an adjacent unlocked location. This can set back Crocodile's progress on moving Miss All Sunday from Rainbase to the Catacombs. It also can mess up his attempts at unlocking the Catacombs by use of Operation Utopia, or just move a hero to a more annoying location. Then we have Crocodile's iconic Water Weakness, the one way to outdo his nearly impervious body of sand. Water Weakness is attached to Crocodile when played, and makes it where the next time Crocodile would clash, he has to discard Water Weakness instead. Crocodile enjoys clashing away a lot of his heroes, so having to waste 1 turn of clashing just to remove Water Weakness is not his idea of a fun time. Finally, we have the last card of Crocodile's Fate deck, his challenge, Symbol of Friendship. When in play, Symbol of Friendship increases the strength of all heroes by 1. It may not seem like much, but 1 extra strength makes a lot of heroes suddenly just out of range for Crocodile to more easily handle. It typically leads to Crocodile being just shy of being able to clash with a hero, or needing to use 1 extra ally for a vanquish. To discard the Symbol of Friendship, Crocodile must discard allies totaling a strength of at least 5 from his territory. He can do this at any time, even during his opponent's turn. Since it takes a strength of 5 to discard though, Crocodile will have to discard at minimum 2 of his allies to do it. Unless he discards Miss All Sunday, but that would be about the same as forfeiting, since Crocodile can't reasonably afford to set his progress back that far. The power of anime friendship is strong, and you can bet Crocodile hates seeing it come up. We've now covered all you need to know to play as Crocodile. An untrusting and devious pirate warlord, as Crocodile you'll use the many pawns at your disposal to thwart heroes and fight your way to the Poneglyph to get that legendary super weapon Pluton. If you have any questions relating to Crocodile, feel free to leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer you. Also check out the description for the playlist to see all the other Anime Villainous how-to videos if there's another character you want to learn about. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you again for more Anime Villainous videos in the future. Until then, farewell.